Hey there, really glad you stopped by. And today I wanted to talk about what to do when you wake up from the fact that you've been abused. And this abuse could come from a relationship, it could come from family members, it could come in the corporate setting or in your professional environment. It can come from the medical system. There's all types of abuse. Some is covert, which isn't direct. It's sort of under the layer of skin, and some is very direct and on the surface. And it can be very difficult to uncover, but sometimes it just hits you in the face, and the denial that you've been in just gets ripped away. And you see clearly for the first time how you've played allegiance to a toxic person or system, and you have been abused, and you've woken up and you're in shock and you're feeling trauma. How do you begin to recover? Well, my suggestion is the immediate response is, once you wake up to it, to be very gentle with yourself. And it happens to many of us, if not all of us, that we are in some way mistreated or abused by the very systems, situations, or individuals that we really thought loved and cared for us and had our best interests at heart. So when you wake up to this, it's very unsettling. You can feel like your skin has been stripped away, or you have this wafting feeling of being completely vulnerable. And you don't really understand it because you've been so defended in the past. But now, for whatever reason, there's no choices, and the defenses have to come off. The denial gets stripped away. So, the very first thing to do is not take blame, not blame and beat yourself up. It's time to be super gentle, put a hand on your heart, and let yourself know you are going to be okay. Everything is always working out for you. This is an experience that you're no longer willing to participate in. You're grateful that you've learned and awakened, and now it's time to recover. So make sure that you do something that is nurturing for yourself. Maybe it's sitting down, having a cup of tea. Maybe it's taking time to look out a window up into the sky, or at the leaves of a tree, or ducks in a pond. Maybe it's time to give your pet an extra snuggle. Maybe it's time to call it a friend that you can trust. Maybe it's time to just get in touch with that beautiful breath of yours. Allow the nurturing to come and feel it from the inside out, because that is your secret weapon. The nurturing doesn't necessarily have to come from the outside in. Tell yourself you're loved, you're appreciated, and everything is working out perfectly for you. So that's the first step. And then to continue on with your self care is essential. We all make mistakes, we all get played the fool, we all learn from lessons. Oftentimes, we're all lied to or tricked. Sometimes we're trained into believing in false systems. So it's not just you. You're not alone. The next thing is to find a support system. So back 20 years ago, nobody would want to talk about their flaws or their mental health issues or admit they needed support from therapists or programs. There's so many offerings today, but please know you're very unique. You have an individual chemistry, and only you can say what's good for you. So, as you go through this process, you need to go inside and breathe and ask yourself, what feels good to me? Do I want to seek out a coach, a mentor, a therapist, a spiritual guide, a trusted friend? What would make me feel well to begin to talk and process through my feelings around the abuse or my feelings about the realization that I'm having and the trauma that I'm feeling? So, first, build that system around you of support. And it takes courage because you may want to sit with it. You may be feeling that shame. You may be shaking in fear. Your reality may have just shifted on a dime and you're unsure and terrified. But the support around you, even if that's nature at first, embrace it. Try not to isolate within your living situation or playing like it doesn't matter at work. Feel out who you can trust. Test it within your own being. Get quiet. Put a hand on your heart again and ask yourself, do I trust this person? Can I trust this individual? Should I call and find a therapist? And when you're selecting a therapist, oftentimes people are doing that online now. And there's a photo often attached to the credentials of the therapist. Look at the photos, spend some time with it, and note energetically how you're feeling, who you're attracted to, who feels safe. You might see 5 photos, and only 2 out of the 5 resonate with your own energy, your own vibration, because we're all frequency. And that's been trained out of us as well. You are highly intuitive. You have many gifts, and you have an inner sense of knowing that may have been trained away that's going to come back to you in spades. So trust yourself and your own intuition on what you need in order to heal. And stuffed animals are great, and real animals are lovely, and so are plants. But a human connection ultimately is probably going to be where you're going to head. So I hope that this short video has helped. If you've not had a grounding activation session with me and would like to, just email info@susangold.us. It's a 30-minute session to really help you feel into your own inner being, your own strength, and your own voice of soothing and stability, because that's where your authenticity comes from. That's where your authentic power comes from. And once you connect with that, it's going to be a lot harder for you to accept abuse, to not recognize abuse, because you'll be more in tune with your inner truth, stability, and power. So it would be my privilege to offer you that 30-minute session. And if you want to know more about my past and my work and my offerings, go to susangold.us. Remember, we are in this together. It's a trying time. The systems that we knew, they're being ripped apart with point and purpose. It can be terrifying. Change can be terrifying, but it's also truly needed. We've been repressed, we've been held back, we've been deceived, we've been lied to, we've been fooled, and you no longer need to play into that system.